I want to tell about the latest project that China is incorporating across Pakistan, and most of you must have heard about it. It is known as CPEC, or China-Pakistan Economic Corridor. CPEC is a part of the Greater OBR project of China, or One Belt One Road project. CPEC passes from the mainland of China, from Kashgar to the Pakistani port of Gadwar. And it is primarily an infrastructural project, a logistical project that will enable supply from the Persian Gulf to the mainland of China, and indirectly to the entire Eurasian and Indian subcontinent. Hence, CPEC has an economic significance on its own. The most primarily significance of CPEC is that it will facilitate the transit of energy resources. Lately, we can see that China is investing in Iranian fields of Farjad oil fields, and also I think in other countries such as UAE, and also it is most notably observed that China, along with India, is investing a lot of resources in offshore drilling in African subcontinent, in African continent. Hence, this particular port, this particular facility will enable, especially China, to get a direct access, or a direct transit corridor from we can say from the Arabian Sea to the mainland of China, which China was earlier not being able to implement or establish. So, this is the economic benefits that CPEC can produce, and also the social benefits are also linked with the economic benefits. Most notably, that employment opportunities will increase, especially in Pakistan. Along with it, the revenue generation will increase, the macroeconomic development will increase, fiscal deficit will be stabilized in the continent, and it will be also impacting India, especially regarding price stability of crude oil. So, inflation targeting by the Central Bank of India, that is RBI, will get stabilized in one way or the other. But what is the main area of concern is the strategic or the indirect impact that CPEC can produce. The indirect impact is that there are certain coercive interests with the Chinese diplomacy regarding CPEC, because we can see that CPEC can actually supplement China's latest project of we can say of encircling the entire Indian Ocean, which is known as String of Pearls initiative. Under this initiative, China is mobilizing its naval vessels as well as submarines towards creating certain tensions in the region by gaining remote access to the most strategic locations or the trade routes of Indian Ocean, such as Strait of Malacca or Strait of Hormuz, as we can say. We can say that China does this to gain undue control on the developmental aspects of the nations of Indian Ocean region. We can see that with the latest spread of democratization in the Indian Ocean nations such as Maldives or the other smaller island nations, China has an interest, both political and economic, towards influencing these nations, because we can see that when a democratization process starts, we can say that there arises certain scope of external intervention, because it can be still seen in the case of India. That's why during the earlier phases of Indian democratization post independence, Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru, he implemented NEM perspective, so that whatever development happens, it happens internally. External influences, influencers cannot give its undue interest in the internet developmental process. But the case with India was quite different, because during those times Cold War was in its height, and whatever, and if any nation, both USA or your Russia, wanted to invest or wanted to influence towards the democratization process of India, it could create an open-ended response from the other blocks. Or in other words, we can say that it was not so simple. It was not so simple in that case. The platform was quite open, and whatever influence any nation, both Soviet Union or USA, would have exerted would be visible to the entire globe. But now, as we can see, that the economic complexities are arising in the world post protectionism, and also with US withdrawal from TPP, and with the disintegration of USA of UN, all these factors, the complexities of the economic and the political scenario is quite becoming entangled with the protectionism principle of the nations. So we can see that in this process China has got a particular loophole through which it can provide some influence in this formative stage of development of democratization of the nations. And if it can influence these nations in this formative stages, then it can influence in the longer run. It as a guarantee of sustainability gets created. So China wants to do it. So CPEC in the longer run will support China's this strategy, and this strategy will be enabled by logistically supporting the string of pearls initiative of China, and along with it the larger Belt and Road initiative of China. So this is the thing. The other thing is the internal thing, which is quite interesting to see. We can see that Pakistan will gain immensely. The revenue generation of Pakistan will be quite huge after this. So suppose we can see that CPEC originates, that CPEC initiates in 2025 or something. Then till 2000, then from 2030, Pakistan's revenue generation will increase a lot. So directly it can affect the nation in a very positive manner. Jobs might increase, informal sector might boost up, trade will increase, and all these things, as we can see on a common basis. But the indirect thing is that the political scenario in Pakistan, or the most scientifically we can say the political structure in Pakistan is made in such a manner that the military elitist, the control actually the democratic processes in Pakistan, and also it is mandated in the constitution of Pakistan itself, that which the constitution of Pakistan provides certain free spaces to the military regime of Pakistan to actually exert certain influences towards the democratic or the executive elements of Pakistan. So we can see that a considerable amount of resources will be actually absorbed or controlled by the military regimes. And we don't have to go further, like in 2025, after which CPEC will get initiated. We can still see even today, or like in the past also, we can see the same thing happening. The military regimes and even the ISI, they are actually controlling a lot of property or real estate. Each and every generals in Pakistan, they have actually we can say land and properties of immense proportion, of astronomical quantities, not only in Pakistan but also